सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे तु जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। अतुलितबलधामं हेमशैलाभदेहं दनुजवनकृशानुं ज्ञानिनामग्रगण्यं सकलगुणनिधानं वानराणामधीशं रघुपतिप्रियभक्तं वातजातं नमामि। नमः श्री तुलसीदास सद्वरिष्ठाय धीमते पूरितं हृदयं येन रामप्रेमामृतेन मे। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। हरि ओम, salutations to all. So we will chant the 5 verses that we have done. बाल समय रवि भक्षी लियो तब तीनहु लोक भयो अंधियारो ताहि सो त्रास भयो जग को यह संकट काहू सो जात नटारो देवन हानि करि बिनती तब छाड़ी दियो रवि कष्ट निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में रपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो बाली की त्रास कपीस बसै गिरि जात महाप्रभु पंथ निहारो चौकी महामुनि साप दियो तब चाहिए कौन विचार विचारो कै द्विज रूप लिवाय महाप्रभु सो तुम दास के शोक निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो अंगद के संग लेन गए सिया खोज कपीस यह बैन उचारो जीवत ना बची हौ हम सो यहाँ पग उधारो हेरि थके तट सिंधु सबैल तब लाय सिया सुधि प्राण उबारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो रावण त्रास दई सिया को सब राक्षसी सो कहि शोक निवारो ताहि समय हनुमान महाप्रभु जाय महारजनी चर मारो चाहत सिया अशोक सो आगे सुदय प्रभु मुद्रिका शोक निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो बान लाग्यो उर लक्ष्मण के तब प्राण तजे सुत रावण मारो लग्रह वैद्य सुषेण समेत तब गिरि द्रोण सुबीर उपारो आनि सजीवन हाथ दई तब लक्ष्मण के तुम प्राण उबारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। नेक्स्ट वन नाउ। रावण युद्ध अजान कियो तब नाग की फांस सब सिर डारो श्री रघुनाथ समेत सब दल मोह भयो यह संकट भारो आनि खगेश तब हनुमान जो बंधन काटी सूत्रास निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। So now is the entry of Ravan. So Ravan comes into the battlefield and he comes with a whole chariot, and his whole chariot is filled with missiles and weapons, and he has an armor and crown, and he is very well decked. Bow, arrow, axe, spear, everything he has. And Bhagwan Ram is standing how? Only on the ground. He has only a bow and arrow. He doesn't have any armor. He doesn't have chariot, nothing. So Bhagwan is simply standing there and Ravan is fully equipped. So Vibhishanji feels that what is this here? There's no equality here, and also he is very concerned. So he says to Bhagwan, Nath narath nahi tana padatrana kehi bitiji tab bir balavana. That, oh Bhagwan, you are standing here, you don't have even footwear. There's nothing to cover your body. And here is Veer Balwan, is Ravan. Ravanu Rathi Birath Raghubira. Dekhi Vibhishana Bhayav Adhira. That he became very impatient. That how will you fight and how will you win this? So Bhagwan gives a whole description of 20 values there. That is the Dharmarath. He says, I have this Dharmarath. And whoever has this Dharmarath will be victorious in life. So the war between Ram and Ravan, Bhagwan is having Dharmarath, and this Ravan is symbolic of complete adharma. And think about Ravan. People say he is a great king. Was he a great king? Why? A king is supposed to protect the praja. That's the first duty of a king. But because of him, the praja got into so much of trouble. His family members have died, so many of them. Lanka has got burned. Itna sab hone ke baad bhi, today's perverted mind thinks what? Ravana was a great king. He did not even touch Sita ji. तो how did he bring Sita ji? Invite करके आओ मेरे साथ आओ, मैं आपको लेके जाऊंगा. How pathetic that is. He dragged her and put her in that chariot. No, he was very decent. He didn't force himself upon Sita ji. That is because he had a curse. He has raped his own daughter-in-law. He is a pathetic fellow. Rambha he has raped. How many women he has raped? And then we say he is a great man. Even in war, he doesn't fight straight. He is a Mayavi. He goes around becoming invisible and shoots arrows. So, this Ravan, in this Maya Yuddha, what does he do? He shoots two Nag Astras. That's what comes here. Ravana Juddha Ajanakiyo Tab. Ajanakiyo meaning he became invisible. Ravan became invisible, and see, Meghnad and Ravan both had that power. They will become invisible suddenly. So that you will not know where are they, where do you direct your arrows. Nag ki fases sabay sir daro. He shot two arrows and then he bound Bhagwan Ram and Lakshmanji both in the Nag Pash. Shri Raghunath Samet Sabay Dal Moha Bhayo Yah Sankat Bharo. And not only that, the whole army also has become unconscious. Now Hanumanji is spared from that. Because Hanumanji, remember, he has all those siddhis, the weapons and these things don't affect him and all that. So he is freed. He is seeing, Arey, Bhagwan is bound, Lakshmanji is bound, the whole army has fallen unconscious. That time what does he do? Ani khage se tabay Hanumanaju. Bandhana kate sutrasani varo. Then he brought whom? Garudji. So eagle, when it comes, then the snakes will run. And Garudaji is not ordinary eagle. He is the king of all the birds and the Vahan of Vishnu Bhagwan. So Garudaji is brought, and so he is not only a bird. He Vahan of Vishnu Bhagwan means he has to be that powerful, spiritual, sattvic, all that. So when Garudaji comes, now this is not there in the Valmiki or in Tulsi Ramayana also. I don't know from where else this is. Some folklore somewhere or some other versions of Ramayana, it may be there. I am not aware of that. But Tulsidas ji has written here, so there must be some authenticity, validity to it. And so he brings Garudaji and frees them from the pash. So some of these things which are there, they are, mantras are used, and then the spells are created. And when the spells are created, then there are specific ways to break that spell. So this is a spell that Ravan has cast on Bhagwan, and Bhagwan is bound. So the only way to remove this is what? We have to bring Garudaji. And Hanumanji does that. So he has freed Bhagwan from this bondage. That's a simple explanation given here. Meaning of this shlokas here. What is this in the deeper symbolism? So Naga. One symbolism can be this, that Nag is all the doubts, skepticism that one has. And when a mind is affected by doubting tendency, skepticism, so Bhagwan Ram represents knowledge and Lakshmanji represents Vairagya. So both this Jnana and Vairagya will be bound, will get affected, that freedom of mind which is there, the freedom to live the higher knowledge, the freedom to be dispassionate, not be affected by what is the temptations in the world, that will get bound, that will get affected by doubt and skepticism. How? Because one will then feel, see, Lakshmanji is also a symbol of seva. When we do seva, if the doubts are there in our mind, kya hota hai seva karne se? Everybody is doing selfish work. Each one is I, me and myself. And I am trying to live for others. They are taking me for a ride. Aaj, Kali Yuga especially. In Kali Yuga, everybody is cunning. Kali means cunning. So we have to follow Yuga Dharma. So we should be cunning. Why should we be selfless? No use of being selfless. Now that doubt, when it has come, I am not convinced by the power of service, selflessness, how it benefits, how I can live even today. Now I can't be selfless. Or I will be selfless in very cautious way. Only when everything is fine, I will be selfless. The moment little bit I feel somebody is taking away my credit, selflessly I am serving, but they are hogging the limelight, I am not getting limelight. Why will I serve? Selfishness will immediately come again. So seva will get affected by doubt, by skepticism, that this is all idealistic, this is not practical, ऐसे थोड़ी हम कर सकते हैं. So when that happens, Jnana also is affected like this. Skepticism, when it comes, Vedanta may tell that you are not the body, mind, intellect. What is the proof? क्या गारंटी है? हाँ ठीक है, लॉजिक है, बोल रहे हैं कि the seer and the seen are different. You are the seer, you are not the seen. ठीक है, वो सब लॉजिक है. But ultimately, we and God are different only. I am a part of God. Big Vedantic people also who study all this Vedanta and talk and give lectures also and give study group, conduct study group talks also, finally will say, I am a part of God. But what part of God you are? You are essentially divine. No. Or they still follow Dvaita only. Deep down in the heart, it will be I and God are different. For talking sake, God and I are essentially one, but otherwise, I and God are different. God and man can never be same. So, confusion, doubt, because samshaya is like that. One etymological meaning of the word samshaya is very nice. Shete means to sleep. Yeah, samshaya means what? Who's sleeping nicely? Meaning what? One whose knowledge is asleep. Then the doubt is that which puts the knowledge to sleep sometimes. If that doubt is used to create jignasa to get knowledge, then that's a different point. But otherwise, sometimes the doubt is such that it will put the knowledge to sleep. One was having good clarity that yes, God exists and this and that. And then some doubt comes in the mind. One is reading some science or some philosopher who may be atheist or any such thing, and then one misunderstands that. Then whatever knowledge one had goes, and that skepticism has gone in, the doubt has gone in. So, samshaya. And that's why this naga represents that. In this context, in subjective sadhana, doubt, skepticism, there is no problem if doubts arise. The valid means of knowledge has to be used to remove the doubts. That is very important. Praman has to be used. Knowledge gained through a valid means will remove all the doubts, give the conviction, then I can live that knowledge and I can apply. Like, what is the valid means of knowledge to know about the life of Bhagavan Ram? Is the Ramayana. Different versions of Ramayana are there, no doubt, and each one has written as per their bhav and their sadhana, etc. But we say Valmiki Ramayana is as it is. When Bhagavan was there, Valmiki ji was there, and he has written it and he has presented Bhagavan as a human there. So that is the praman, to know about the life of Bhagavan Ram. What is the praman for? For me to understand physics. I should read the books of physics, no? If I want to know about chemistry, will I open law book and read? Chemistry book I have to read. Now, if I have to know God, which book I have to open? Pakka, you'll open the scripture and read. Swamiji, I am a scientific person. Scientifically prove to me God exists. You can open the book of science to read about God. It's like opening book of chemistry to know law. How it is possible? What is the valid means? And the so-called science, so then I say that I am scientific and prove to me God exists scientifically. God is beyond the purview of science. Not that we can't use science at all. You can use some logic, you can use some part of science, but you can't use that to prove God. So that question itself is stupid. And we become defensive to answer that question scientifically. Prove God scientifically. Answer should be, proving God scientifically is equal to learning chemistry by opening law book. Do. Open scripture to read about science, no? About God. And open science book to know about science. Why are you confusing both these, mixing up both these? But no. So then, and then those doubts will remain. Swamiji, I have asked so many people, nobody has been able to convince me about God. Which are the people did you ask? Did you go to some spiritual person and ask? I asked my parents. Parents are valid means of praman. If they have studied, then yes, possible. But if they have not studied, then no, but my parent is very spiritual, believes in God, but my parent can't convince me about God. So God does not exist. or what they think about God, I don't accept. So some people may have limitations of expression, or they may have clarity but they can't talk, or they have not enough clarity but they have enough bhav ki bhai I believe in Bhagwan and I worship Bhagwan, and that gives them a lot of strength, but they can't convince somebody that God exists. So now that doubt will remain in the head. So valid means has to be used for it. So Nag Pasha is removed by only Garudji here. So that Garudji represents the valid means, Praman. And what is that Praman here? That is Satsang. How Garudji represents that? Garudji flies very high. And Garudji is the Vahan of Vishnu Bhagwan. So Vishnu is the Lord. So Garudji coming means Satsang comes into one's life. In a mind, in the seeker's mind, when there is doubt about knowledge, now doubt about seva, why should I serve, why do I need knowledge? After all, eat, drink, be merry, that's the purpose of life. All hard work, after I do all hard work, what is the ultimate destination? I have to do nothing. All hard work is for doing nothing. You must have heard this story, one man, he was sleeping below a tree, cool breeze is blowing, he is just happily relaxing there. One coated, booted, suited fellow comes there, and it is 10:30 in the morning. He says, young man, what are you doing here? He says, I am sleeping, I am resting. He says, it's 10:30 in the morning, why are you wasting your time? What is your profession? He says, I am a fisherman. So he says, okay, you are a fisherman, then why don't you go? He said, I went early morning, went into the ocean, did my catch, and I came back. I went, sold it in the market. I am happy. He said, but you have whole day. Why are you wasting it? Tomorrow morning I will go again, he says. But he says, that is tomorrow morning, whole day now. You can go again. So he said, Acha, then what will happen? He says, you go again, you catch 2-3 times in a day like that you can do, and go and sell in the market, and you will make 4 times the money per day. Then what will happen? Like that, if you keep doing for a few years, then you can have your own boat, your own shipping corporation. Then what will happen? Then you can earn so much wealth, you can build your own bungalow, you can go somewhere and Switzerland and Paris and London, this, that. And then what will happen? Then you can go and relax. So he says, what am I doing now? To relax, why do I have to do so much effort and then finally again come back to this? So people think what? That all hard work is to earn money to enjoy, and then chill in life. Chill in life means what? I have to do nothing. Just travel, enjoy, eat, drink, do merry. Vivekananda said a very powerful line. He said, knowledge is the goal of life, not pleasure. Simple sounding line, but if we think about it, all our ultimate pursuit is only directed towards pleasure. Finally, we are all wanting pleasure. No idea that what we actually should be doing as human being is gain knowledge. Why? Because whatever amount of pleasure I enjoy, it is still temporary. It will not give fulfillment. In the corporate world, they have this. No? In the world of rat race, even if you win, you still remain a rat, always afraid of a cat, hiding below a mat. Nothing which we achieve can give fulfillment to us. It has its own specific relevance in the relative world, but beyond that, nothing. Fulfillment comes only when I know that my nature is Purnatvam. So knowledge is the goal of life, not pleasure. Pleasure at best is one small part of life. Artha, Kama, Dharma and Moksha. In that, Kama is only one part, small. But today what has happened? For the sake of Kama, all my Artha is for the sake of Kama. For the sake of Kama, I will compromise with Dharma. And Mukti to baat hi chhod do. Kiski Mukti, kaun si Mukti? There is no Mukti. खाओ पियो मौज करो इधर 4 दिन की चांदनी किसने देखा कल? All that logic one gives. You only live once. Enjoy. And people come and tell us, Swamiji, enjoy. Are you have to learn from us Vairagya. You are coming and telling me enjoy. So, this Jnana and Seva, Vairagya, all this can get influenced by Ravan. Kaun hai? Ravan is this Ahankar. This Ahankar in us will shoot these arrows, create all these doubts, skepticism. You have dedicated your life to pursuing God, but does God even exist? Suddenly one starts doubting, Acha, I went through that. I'm not joking. After 2 years of Vedanta course, I studied and all that and came out. I was 23 years old at that time. And they had told me very clearly in our Vedanta course, instruction was given, don't look left and right to study any other books. Stick to books which are being taught in the course. So, Gurudev's books, Shankaracharyaji's books, Akhandanandji, some of these bhashyas, commentaries, stick to those. So I followed that instruction, studied. Then I came out. Then I got a book of J. Krishnamurti. And that book was on God. So I started reading the first chapter. By the time I read that first chapter, I started doubting myself only, what am I doing? Because the way he questions in that, and see, if you are not exposed to that type of this thing, one will suddenly wonder, he says God is not known. How can you dedicate your life to something which is unknown? There is no surety, there is no guarantee. What is God? No idea of it. And it is all a projection of people and creations of human beings. Religion, God, Guru, all these are institutions created by human beings to control. Does really God exist? And what are you pursuing? You are pursuing something which is unknown. How can you pursue? Suddenly that one chapter, when I read, I said, Ye kya hai? What is this line of thinking? I closed it. उसके बाद आगे पढ़ा नहीं मैंने. Then I started thinking, what is he trying to say? God is unknown and all this. Go back to Vedanta. That is it really what we are seeking is unknown? No, we are only trying to discover what is already our true nature. We are not seeking something unknown. The fundamental premise only is wrong there. Once the fundamental premise I don't question, then you can build anything on that. Khayali pulao to paka hi sakte ho. But the base only is not correct. I have not read further, so he may lead the inquiry into some other fact. I don't know. I'm not saying whatever J. Krishnamurti says is wrong, but I'm saying that sometimes that can happen. If my knowledge is not clear, this ego will create some doubts. Then it will start questioning your pursuit only. Then one starts wondering, did I get carried away? Even simple things like values. Scriptures will say you be compassionate, kind, loving, caring, forgiving. And then the ego says, don't forgive. If you forgive, this person will continue to hurt you and harm you. Don't forgive. Now then the mind will start doubting. Why should I forgive? So the ego can play a lot of tricks. And yes, it is all to be understood in a proper context. Certain things one can't forgive and forget in a certain context. But as an individual, as a seeker, I have to apply forgiveness and move ahead in life. So when to apply, when not to apply, all that clarity is required. And which is why that satsang is important. So ego is ready to shoot this and destroy our knowledge, create doubt, create skepticism, create fanaticism. And that will bind that person then. The person is no more free to live that knowledge, to serve selflessly, to live in dispassion. So Hanumanji acts as the teacher again, who brings the right knowledge in our life. Because if that praman is not there, right understanding is not there, confusion galore. So what is the basis of my conclusions? I have to ask that. Even today's world, when people talk so many things, what is the basis of this information? We have to ask. Because if that is not known, anybody is talking anything to push their vested interest and wasting our time. You know, in the Ram Janmabhoomi case also, if you see the historians of the left, in the court they have said certain things which are just out of their head. They have no proof of it. And the ASI will dig out and find all the proofs and everything, and then they disproved Irfan Habib and Romila Thapar and all of them. And when they were asked for their proofs, they don't have proofs. Is that not a crime actually? One should be punished for it, saying, how do you say such loose statements, but freedom of expression? Kuch bhi koi bhi bol raha hai, and then the onus to prove is on our side. Then we have to go on proving that Bhagwan Ram was existing, Bhagwan Ram was born here, there was a temple here. All that onus is on us to prove. Those fellows are simply saying there was nothing there, it was only a mosque before. Arey, what is the proof? You substantiate your thing with a proof. No. So, this is one very important aspect. So, Garuduji, specifically, why Garuduji only? Garuduji is an eagle. Eagle flies very high. And in the flights of meditation, this will happen. The wings of Garuduji are the Veda. And the flapping of the wings is supposed to be the Ved mantra uchchar. And which means that Garuduji is the symbol of Vedic knowledge. See, our Praman. So, suppose if I ask you, for the Muslims, what is the main scripture? Quran. For the Christians, for the Buddhists, Dhammapada. They have some more. For Hindus, Bhagavad Gita. See, Veda is our main authority. Bhagavad Gita is the essence of the Upanishads which are in the Vedas. Ramayana also is that a depiction of the Vedic principle. Bhagwan Ram is the embodiment of Veda. Veda Vedye Pare Pumsi Jate Dashratatmaje. That supreme Brahman of the Vedas has taken birth in the house of Dashrath as Bhagwan Ram. Our main source books are what? Veda. They are our Pramana. So Garuduji is Satsang. Garuduji represents that right, valid means of knowledge. Any doubt which arises, if the mind fires certain doubts, if we listen from somebody and then there's some confusion in our head, what should be the Praman for spiritual knowledge, especially our scriptures, Vedic knowledge. Dependent on, derived from the Vedic knowledge are so many scriptures. Gita is there, Smritis are there, Puranas are there, Mahabharata, Ramayana, all these. But the source book is the Veda. And so Garuduji represents that right, valid means of knowledge. And in satsang also, we must ensure that we get the knowledge of the valid means in satsang. One of the biggest things Gurudev did was to make us have the scripture in our hand. He brought the scripture to us. Said, you open the book and you read. We were deprived of our scriptures. Even today, many are deprived of the scriptures. They don't read the scripture, and then one lives in some imaginary world only. And whatever one hears from people, whatever one sees on television, that has become the Praman for them. Available. Enough commentaries are available. Vidyaranya Swami's brother, Sayanacharya, he wrote commentary on the Veda. Available. Today, so many translations are available. If you do research on the net, you will find sets of Veda, full available. Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, Atharva Veda, with meaning. I have two sets, different authors. I took specifically so that we have, one is authenticity and one is the meaning has to be clear. And so many things which are quoted on the internet. Mantras are quoted with the name of the Veda, mandala, chapter, mantra number, all that. A lot of it is false. You open that and see in the Veda, it is not there only. Just because it's written there does not mean that it is really there. Because people have their own vested interest and agenda to push some narrative. So now they are just writing. Some of them are fabricated also. There's a book called Burning Women Myths. Our youth empowerment program batch 13, they brought it out. We did all research on so many myths that are associated about women in our country with our culture. So can women study the Veda? Can they chant? Can they do Gayatri Mantra? Can they go to the temple during menstruation? Was sati really a practice? What is Kanyadan? Like that. Some 4-5 books are only available here right now. It's out of stock now. If you want to take, you can take. For that, we were doing a lot of research. Were women educated in the earlier days? Did they go to Gurukuls? All that. So on the internet, when we were doing research, so many quotations are there and so many Instagram pages also, left, right and center, they are putting many mantras. And so we took and started finding where is this. Some of them are not there only, just fabricated. Even Ramayana, if you see, so many versions of Ramayana, people have put up anything which they like. That's why we have to go back to the source. Even if you go to internet, you have to ask, you have to find out which is a valid site to go. Otherwise, wrong information is available in plenty. ValmikiRamayan.net. That's a one very nice authentic site where you can get. But there they don't have Uttarakhand because I think they think that it is interpolated. They have only 6 Kands there, from Balakand up to this Yuddhakand. But it is literal translation there. Quality of translation can be improved little more in that, but it is there, at least there is no manipulation and all that. And they have written shloka translation nicely. Like that, we have to find which are the authentic sites, especially in today's age. Even ChatGPT, etc., you have to train. Dependent on information, what is available, it will pick up, and if you train it, then you will get some things. But just to test, I asked ChatGPT. So Chinmaya Ashtakam is there, na Omkara Suna Makarandara Sampibantam. So I just asked in ChatGPT that who is the author of Chinmaya Ashtakam? And ChatGPT said Swami Tejomayananda is the author of Chinmaya Ashtakam. So I said, what is the source? So ChatGPT said, Chinmaya Mission website and all the information related to different websites of Chinmaya Mission is the source of this information. Swami Tejomayananda is the composer of this. And Guruji has not written that at all. It is written by somebody called Krishna Swamiji in Bengaluru. But ChatGPT will do this only. यहाँ से इधर उठाओ, उधर से इधर उठाओ, ये करो. And if you ask the source, it will say ये source है. Straight. Then I said, tell me a shloka on, because we had a camp on Saptarishis in May this year here. I said, I want a shloka on Jamadagni Rishi. Immediately one shloka came. So then I said, what is the source of this? ChatGPT said, I have created this shloka. Yeah. ChatGPT created a shloka on Jamadagni Rishi based on whatever it knows about Jamadagni Rishi. Because I said, give me a shloka in Sanskrit on Jamadagni Rishi. आ गया एक shloka तुरंत. And dhamadham one can use that and say, अरे but किसने लिखा है ये? ChatGPT ने लिखा है. So it's very, in the information technology age, when so much knowledge is available, we have to be very careful on what is the authentic knowledge. So Garuji represents that satsang. So my point of saying this was, even when you go to a satsang, always ask, what is the source of this information? Otherwise, there are enough people talking what they want to talk. There is no validity to it also. कुछ भी बोल रहे हैं, वो लिखा ही नहीं है वहाँ पे. Dhobi incident is not there only in Ramayana. Some version it must be there, but Valmiki में नहीं है, तुलसी में नहीं है, कंब रामायण में नहीं है. अब कौन से रामायण में है कुछ पता नहीं. But how much that प्रचार of that happens कि एक धोबी के कहने पर भगवान राम ने सीता जी को भेज दिया, निष्कासित कर दिया, ये अन्याय है. अरे भाई कौन सा धोबी? Where is the source? बताओ. Like that, so many things. So this point here is this. Hanumanji represents this. So Praman is required. So in our culture, if something is proved by these three, then it is accepted as valid. What are these three? Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti. It has to have proper Vedic reference or a scriptural reference. Shruti, I'm talking in field of spirituality, okay? Don't say that physics ka Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti kya hai. I'm talking about Vedanta and our Adhyatmik Vidya. So, Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti. Logically, it has to be proved. And logic also in our culture, they have full, pratignya, hetu, drishtanta, all that is there in that. So, you have to prove as per that, logic has to fit according to that, then only it is acceptable. So, it's a proper systematic method in our culture, in Vedanta. Not only in Vedanta, the other darshanas also. So there are systems available. So Shruti, then Yukti, logic, and then Anubhuti. Has anybody experienced this? Maybe I have experienced certain things, maybe I have not, but somebody else has experienced, a realized person, a highly evolved person has experienced. Then that will become the means that if something is proved by all the three, Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti. So does God exist? What does the Shruti say? Find out. What is the logic for it? Shruti will only give. And what is Anubhuti? So many Jivan Muktas are the proof of it. Now take that and then understand, yes, God exists, and then how to realize God. Without that inquiry, then if I go on saying scientifically prove God exists and you can't prove God exists, that kya hai ye? There is no Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti properly. So one has to test based on this, Shruti, Yukti and Anubhuti. Yeah, those are 6 pramana which are, when we do 6 means of knowledge are there, direct perception, inference, 6 are there total, not only 4. Shabda praman. No, Pratyaksha, Anuman, Upaman, Shabda, Anupalabdhi and Arthapatti. 2 more. So you can say 4 or 6. You can include 1 here, reject 1 there, all that. But Vedanta will say 6 pramans are there. In that only Shabda praman is capable of knowing the truth. Other 5 you cannot apply. So my point is this, use a valid means. So that is this shloka here, that Hanumanji brings Garudji, frees Bhagwan Ram. So he is that Guru who brings the valid means of knowledge to us. And in a seeker's life, we can't decide right and wrong based on ahankar. We have to decide right and wrong based on Shastra. And that's why in the Gita 16th chapter, what does Bhagwan say? Tasmat Shastram Pramanamte Karya Karya Vyavasthitau. Shastra is the praman for knowing what to do and what not to do. What is my kartavya, what is akartavya, what is dharma, what is adharma. Today we say what? It is all subjective. It is all relative. Right and wrong is all relative. Based on my likes and dislikes. If I feel अंदर से मुझे लग रहा है कि ये सत्य है, ये अंदर से लग रहा है, मतलब अंदर से तो बहुत कुछ लग सकता है. How can we believe that that alone is the means? Purified antakarna is required to decide, yes, this is right or wrong. That Shastra only will help us to purify the antakarna. Then I can follow that inner voice. But for that I need Shastra to prepare my inner voice. From beginning I say andar se aayega to. Now the next one. Bandhu samet jabaya hi Ravana lay Raghunath patal sidharo. Debi hi puji bhali vidhi so bali deu sabai mili mantra bicharo. Jaya sahaya bhayo tab hi ahi Ravana sainya sameta saharo. को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो. को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो. So what is the meaning here? See, Ravan, when he knows, now his children are being killed. Meghnad is killed, Akshay Kumar has been killed, his brother Kumbhakarna has also been killed. All these people have been killed. And then what happens? He sends this Ahiravan. He tells Ahiravan that you capture. So, who is this Ahiravan? This Ahiravan is a tantric. So, Ahiravan is a very powerful tantric. He worships Mahamaya. And Vibhishanji tells Bhagwan Ram that he, through his spies, has understood and found out that this Ahiravan has been told by Ravan to capture Bhagwan Ram. So, he says that we have to safeguard you because this Ahiravan, Mahiravan, no, they are very powerful. They can come in any form, they can do any Maya and they can capture. So, Hanumanji and Vibhishanji, they decide. So, Hanumanji says, with my tail I will make a fortress. And you, Bhagwan, he tells Bhagwan, you and Lakshmanji go inside, and with Sugriv, Angad, a whole army of Vanaras, you be there. Bhagwan gives Sudarshan Chakra to him, saying, I will give you this, let it guard on the top. So one fort has been created and Sudarshan Chakra is guiding so that there is no aerial intrusion. And Hanumanji is sitting at the gate and Vibhishanji is taking turns and he is going rounds that from anywhere Ahiravan should not come in. So this Ahiravan comes and he sees, Acha, this is a vyavastha they have done. So he comes in the form of Dashrathji first. And he goes and tells Hanumanji that, I want to see my son, whether he is well. Hanumanji said, no, we have strict instructions not to allow anybody. Hanumanji was told that much that don't even allow your father, meaning Pavan Devta, to go inside because we don't know in which form this Ahiravan can come. So Dashrathji comes there and he says, no, we can't allow you to go inside. We have strict instructions, but please understand, Bhagwan Ram is well, I know personally. So Dashrath Maharaj goes. Vibhishanji is doing rounds. That time Vibhishanji, when he comes back, he tells that Dashrath Maharaj had come. So he tells him that, Arey, Dashrath Maharaj had passed away long back. Why will he come? That was definitely Ahiravan and very good that you did not allow him to go inside. And he goes for a round. And in a short while he comes back. And he says, I have been taking rounds. I want to go inside and just have darshan of Bhagwan and I will come back and again continue. So he goes. Hanumanji says, okay, go and come back quickly. And in some time, Vibhishanji again comes after finishing his round. Then he says, you just went inside. How did you come from there? He said, I never came back. I am on my rounds and you know that it takes this much time to do one round. He said, but I thought you only asked me to go inside, have darshan. He said, Arey, what happened? I think you have let Ahiravan go inside. And when they both go in, what they find? Bhagwan Ram is not there, Lakshmanji is not there, there is one big hole and all this Sugriv, Angad, everybody has, become unconscious. Now Hanumanji says, it was my blunder, I have to rescue Bhagwan and I have to go there. So he goes into that hole and he falls inside down there. He takes Bhagwan's name and finally he lands in Patal. And there, that is like a huge city there down. Now, where to find Bhagwan Ram there? So, Hanumanji is feeling that what is this? But then he remembers that in Lanka I could find Sita ji with Bhagwan's grace. Now, I will definitely find Bhagwan here. So Hanumanji takes Bhagwan's name and quickly he is searching. Finally he comes to the palace. And there he understands that this Mahamaya, this Hiravan is worshipping. He is hearing some two people talking that, great two young boys have been brought and this king of ours is going to do their bali and that will bring great prosperity to our Patal Lok. And he overhears two of them in the palace talking, and then the place where they are doing this, he figures out. So he goes there. When he goes there is one strange creature on the gates of that palace, who looks like monkey but has a combination of monkey and crocodile. So he goes there and he speaks to him that, who are you? He says, I am Makaradhwaj. I am the son of Hanuman. Hanuman is, Mera beta. In Hindi movies and all, you see suddenly, hey, my son. Bichda hua koi. It's like that, my son. Hanumanji only surprised that, how do I have a son? I don't know. And he's a Bal Brahmachari. So he tells, Hanuman is a Brahmachari. How are you, Hanuman's son? So he says, you don't know that. He says, no, I don't know. He says, no, I am Hanuman's son. So how are you, Hanuman's son? Says Hanuman, when he burned the whole Lanka and then he came to the ocean and in that, he put the fire off from his tail when he jumped into the ocean. But in that heat, his body was so hot and he has burnt the whole Lanka and all that. In that heat, his seed fell down and that was taken by a crocodile. And that crocodile was captured and was brought to Patal. And when that crocodile was opened, I was born from that. And this Ahiravan, he saw this small child and he brought me up. And that is how I am here guarding him in his place of Tantra. He is guarding him. Who are you? I am Hanuman. He says, I am only that Hanuman. And so he says, Father, I have to do my duty. I have to protect this place. I know you have come to rescue Ram and Lakshman, but I will not allow you to go inside. So Hanumanji says, I am very proud of you. Be very duty bound. Let us fight. So they both fight. It's full on drama this is, if you actually dramatize it. They both fight there and then Hanumanji finally ties him up by a rope and leaves him there and he enters inside. When he enters inside, he meets one Rakshasi called Chandrasena. And the Chandrasena helps him. Chandrasena says that, this Ahiravan has cast a spell on Ram and Lakshman. And the spell can be broken, only then they will be free. And only Ramji can kill him. If anybody else kills him, Ahiravan, the spell will never be broken and they will never be able to get out of Patal. And there are conditions for this spell to be broken. There are 5 lamps and these 5 lamps have to be put off at the same time and the head of this Ahiravan has to be cut by Bhagwan Ram only. Hanumanji says, Acha, now this is how to do this. But he comes up with a plan. So now he takes the form of a fly and he goes to that place where where Ahiravan is there. Bhagwan is bound. Both Ramji and Lakshmanji are bound there and they are going to give the bali. At that time, this Mahamaya, she gives on Akashvani and she says that, I am very pleased with you, Ahiravan, that you have brought these 2 young boys and you are going to offer them in bali and your country is going to prosper with all that. But before you offer a bali to them, tell them to bow down to me. They should bow down to me. So Ahiravan tells both of them, bow down. So they say that, we are prince of Ayodhya and people bow down to us. We are not used to bowing down. We really don't know how to bow down. This Ahiravan is having his sword and ready. He has to kill them. So he was standing with his sword. So Bhagwan Ram says that we don't know how to bow down. You show us how to bow down because we are great princes. We have never bowed down to anybody. Nobody ever taught us. You teach. So Ahiravan says, okay, I will teach you. He puts his sword down and he bows. The moment he bows, Hanumanji, who was a fly, immediately comes into his original form, takes that sword, cuts off the chains of Bhagwan Ram and Lakshman, quickly tells Bhagwan that you have to behead him. I am going there. Goes up, takes a Panchamukhi roop with 5 heads. One is his own head. Then one lion, one deer, one Varaha and Garud. Horse. One horse. Which are the 5? Lion, horse, Varaha, Garud, and his own. Correct. 5. So these 5, at one and the same time, they blow away the lamps. And Bhagwan at that very moment cuts his head. And that Ahiravan is killed. Once that Ahiravan is killed, this Chandrasena helps them to get out of Patal. And when they are going out, at that time, Bhagwan says, who is this creature who is bound? Hanuman says, he is my son. So Bhagwan says, we will crown him as the king of Patal. So you see how many kings Hanumanji has made. He is really a kingmaker. In Lanka also, because of him, Vibhishan became the king. Patal also, his son becomes the king. Sugriv also becomes the king. Bhagwan Ram also becomes the king. Real kingmaker he is. So if you worship Hanumanji, what will you become? She is some Rakshasi there only. I don't know too much background about her, but she was in Patal. Just like the Lankini is fed up with this Ravan, no? Like that, the Chandrasena is also fed up with this Ahiravan. So she helps him out. And then they come out. And because the spell is broken, when they come out from Patal in the same place, all of them, Sugriv and the monkeys and all of them, Angad and all of them again have come back to consciousness. So this is the story. So Bandhu Samete Jabai Ahiravan Lay Raghunath Patala Siddharo. This Ahiravan went into Patal. Then Devi Puji Bhali Vidhi. So he was worshipping this Mahamaya. So Bali Dev, he wanted to give Bali of Bhagwan. Sabai Mili Mantra Vicharo. And he was chanting the mantras and he wanted to offer the Bali. Then Jaya Sahaya Bhayo Tabahi. Ahiravan Sainya Sameta Samharo. Hanumanji goes and Ahiravan with his whole army, he destroys them. Ko nahi janat hai jag mein kapi Sankat Mochan Namatiharo. So then who is this? So what are this? What does this story symbolize? One aspect is the tantric aspect, that this tantra is actually a paddhati of worship. Tantra literally is a paddhati of worship, but today tantra has been what you call misunderstood, misused, and one wants to indulge in all kinds of sense enjoyments. For that one thinks tantra is the marg. But it is not like that. And there is black magic which exists, there is a certain power which is there. But if a person's sadhana is strong and if a person is a sattvic person, none of those things will affect that person actually. The more negative thoughts are there in our mind, the more weaker we are, the more the influences of these things will be on us. What they show in these movies and all, no, don't get even bothered and carried away by any of that. कि किसी ने मेरा एक बाल ले लिया, मेरा एक कपड़े का पार्ट ले लिया और एक डॉल को उसको बांध दिया और फिर वुडू एंड ऑल दैट, उसको पिन चुभाया, जहाँ उसको चुभाया वहाँ पे हमको दुखता है. All that, whatever they do in black magic, if you are following a sattvic lifestyle, none of this will even affect. And in fact, that energy will go back to that person who is doing the black magic. It will backfire on them. Now, don't bother about any of this. Do sadhana, upasana, daily things. Don't entertain negative thoughts and be inspired. Live a higher way of life of devotion, surrender, sadhana, seva. That's all is required. Bhagwan Ram himself is captured and taken away by Ahiravan. And Hanumanji goes and liberates him from there. So, if you read in this, the symbolism that comes here, what Swamiji has explained here, that Ravan means what? Ravan means somebody who goes on making us cry. Ego is that. Now, what makes us really suffer is our own ahankar. So, everybody has a car. Which is that car? Ahankar. That ahankar has lot of kama. So, kamkar. Ahankar and kamkar. These are two cars in which we are traveling continuously. I and mine. Aham and mama. So, from ahankar and kamkar, we have to shift to omkar. Yes, that's all we have to do. Do sadhana of omkar. Do sadhana of Bhagwan's name. So, Ravan means one who makes us cry. And this Ravan will send Ahiravan to destroy our knowledge, peace, happiness, vairagya, seva, all that. So, Ahi means what? Snake. And what is the meaning of this snake in this context here? All the negative thoughts that will come and bind, that is the meaning. Ahi Ravan. Negative thinking. So here, that's what he says. One more meaning Swamiji is given here is what we have done in the past. Some karmas of the past which may not have been appropriate. Those will create guilt in our mind. Those will make us regret. Those will make us go back into the past and make us feel unworthy. All those, they are like the snakes. They will sap away, they will bite us in the present, destroy our enthusiasm, our spirit of seeking, where we keep feeling that I am unworthy, how can I seek the Supreme? That we have to destroy. There are some bhajans also, no? Maili chadar odh ke kaise dwar tumhare aau and all that. So how do I come? Because I am a sinner, I have done so many mistakes in the past and all that, some regret can be there. What our culture says, in the Gita Bhagavan says so beautifully, Apichet suduracharaha bhajate maam ananya bhak sadhurevasa mantavyaha samyak vyavasitohisa. Apichet sudurachara. Gurudev used to very humorously, he would say, you may be a PhD, a double PhD, triple PhD in crime. There is no crime that you have not done. Apichet sudurachara. Durachara means bad conduct. Sudurachara means expert in bad conduct. There is nothing you have left undone in that realm of doing anything bad and negative. Apichet sudurachara. Even such a terrible person, bhajate mam ananya bhak. If one worships the Lord single-pointedly, Bhagavan says, sadhureva samantavya. Consider that person to be good only. Why? Samyak vyavasito hisaha. Because that person has taken the right resolve and quickly he will transform. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. My devotee shall not perish. So here the Bhagavan only is caught by this Ahiravan. Even Bhagavan may be caught, but Hanumanji can come and free. So we may be caught in some negative thought pattern, some unworthiness, some mistake we have done in the past, but we have to learn to forgive and let go, invoke the Supreme, look ahead, walk the path. That's all has to be done, because guilt is a very unproductive emotion by itself. One may feel guilty for certain things, but one has to come out of it soon. If we allow that guilt to go on playing on our head, then we will not be able to do things in the present. Purushartha we can't do. It will destroy the Purushartha Shamata. So one has to let go, forgive, drop. So that is this Ahiravan and Mahiravan story. This concludes actually the 7 shlokas which are about Hanumanji, how he removed the sorrows of so many different people. Last one is actually like a prayer. काज किए बड़ देवन के तुम वीर महाप्रभु देखे विचारो कौन सो संकट मोर गरीब का जो तुम सो नहीं जात है टारो बेगी हरो हनुमान महाप्रभु जो कुछ संकट होय हमारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो काज किए बड़ देवन के तुम. So many big gods and many other powerful people, you have accomplished tasks for all of them. वीर महाप्रभु, you are so brave, O Mahaprabhu, देखी विचारो. कौन सो संकट मोर गरीब को. I am so small, one little jiva. I am not so powerful. I don't have such big problem. थोड़ा सा problem I have. कौन सो संकट मोर गरीब को जो तुमसे वो नहीं जात है टारो. What you can't avoid, avert and help me out of. So begi haro, quickly you take away. Meaning don't spend more time saying ठीक है देखते हैं ये क्या करता है, इसका कितना पुरुषार्थ है, इसकी कितनी क्षमता है. नहीं, you come fast. Why? You are pavan putra na. Your speed is your nature. So begi haro, फटाफट आओ. बेगी हरो हनुमान महाप्रभु जो कछु संकट होए हमारो. Whatever may be my sankat. Interesting thing is Jiva doesn't think of Bhagwan and gets into sankat. After getting into sankat says whatever is my sankat you help me. But that is how it is. A small child is also like that. Does the child realize? It doesn't know what is there, goes and falls in a ditch. Then says, Are bachao. In our situation, what happens? We know what is wrong. Still we do what is wrong. Then land up in sankat. Then we say, Abhi begi haro Hanuman Mahaprabhu. Jaldi se nikalo. So one aspect is to help me to get out of sankat. Please help me. Chalo. At least later I am remembering Bhagwan. Before, if I don't remember, I land in sankat. At least later, if I remember Bhagwan somewhere. So that also is one type of bhakta. In the Gita, Bhagwan says, no, artha. Artha is also one type of bhakta. Because when we are in trouble, if that time at least we remember Bhagwan, good. Otherwise, when people are in trouble, what they remember? Alcohol. Gham bhulane ke liye. What pathetic conditioning we have in our society, I tell you. They will remember some person, they will remember some money, they will remember some alcohol. Kya matlab uska? At least at that time remember Bhagwan. One PJ I read somewhere, one teacher asked in the school, do you pray before you eat the food? And the child said, no, my mummy is a very good cook. So I don't pray before I eat food. So the point is, artha is one type of bhakta. At least one is surrendering at that time and seeking Bhagwan's grace. Ki, bhai, please help me. Gurudev used to say that surrender and act. That's the way to act. That's intelligent action is surrender and act. But what do? We act and then surrender, saying, Arey, ye galti ho gaya, aap bachao. If we had surrendered before, our mind would have been in such a higher state, sattvic state, then action also will be the right action. Wise thing Arjun did, no? When he was confused about what should be done and what should not be done, what did he do? He surrendered. And he said, I don't know what is right and wrong, you please guide me. And Bhagwan gave the whole Gita. And at the end of the Gita, what Bhagavan said, I have given you what I had to tell you, all knowledge I have given. Now you decide what you want to do. Yatha ichhasi tatha kuru. And what does Arjun say? Karishye vachanam tava. That Bhagavan, what you have told, I will follow that. Real surrender is that. To follow what the Lord says, what the scripture says, and then the Sankat will go. So the prayer is that we begi haro Hanuman Mahaprabhu jo kachu Sankata hoy hamaro. Whatever is my Sankat. And we must have that faith that Bhagavan exists, Bhagavan helps, and my Sankat I will get out of. Suppose we feel that Sankat is not going, that does not mean that my prayer is fruitless or God is not helping me. By not doing something also God can be helping only. Think about that. We may say that, oh, I have this disease, now Bhagavan, you help me to come out of this disease, and I did so much but my disease did not go. So where is God? Where is my karma phala? What prayer I did? Why did it not help? But how do you know that God is not helping through this? Maybe that's the karma that you had to exhaust. Maybe this disease you would have gone in 5 births. Bhagavan finished it in 1 birth for you. How do you know that? You don't know that at all. And how do you know that Bhagavan has not helped or helped? No idea one has, because one is only assuming. Because one thinks that no, my disease did not go. So we directly make equation like that. Surrender means what? Surrender means accept the will of Bhagavan. Bas. That is called surrender. Now if I think I surrendered, my result didn't come, so surrender is not working. That is a very wrong conclusion. In the Gita, what does Bhagavan say? Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja aham tva sarva papebhya moksha ishyami ma shuchah. Do not grieve. That last 2 words, that is also the essence of surrender. If I accept the will of Bhagavan, it is the will of Bhagavan. Ma shuchah. No grief. Whether the immediate sorrow did not go, doesn't matter. I have surrendered. That surrender itself will destroy my disturbance in the head. Baki, whatever has to happen externally will happen. So, begi haro Hanuman Mahaprabhu jo kachu sankat hoya hamaro. Bhagavan is Karuna Nidhan. Bhagavan is full of compassion. Bhagavan doesn't want any one of us to suffer. If we are suffering for some reason, it is some past karmic consequence. Bhagavan is working it out. Did any great bhakta ask like that question? Gurudev used to give a very nice example. He would say that when Krishna Bhagavan was born, he was born in the jail. And as soon as he was born, he gave the instructions to Vasudevji that you have to take me across the Yamuna and leave me in Gokul. And by Bhagavan's will, what happened? All the guards fell unconscious. The chains of Vasudevji and Devki, they were released. Prison doors opened. And Bhagavan is in a basket. What he has to do? Put Bhagavan on his head. And he goes out of that prison. And when he goes out, what he finds there? Tremendous rain. Massive rains. Because the whole Prakriti is happy that Bhagavan is born. And whole Yamuna is in floods. Now, Bhagavan's instruction is, he has to take Bhagavan across the Yamuna and leave him in the Gokul there. Now, how will he go? Have you seen any of these rivers in floods? Yamuna, Ganga, Narmada. You look at the massive water and you can't, expert swimmer also can't swim through it. What did Vasudevji do? Vasudevji didn't say ki be practical. This is rainy season, flood is there. We will wait. ये थोड़ा शांत हो जाए उसके बाद हम जाएंगे ना. थोड़ा प्रैक्टिकल होना चाहिए भाई. डिवोटी है मतलब क्या? कुछ भी करेगा. He didn't say any of that. I am not saying you jump into the water, okay? Now he had Bhagavan on his head. In Bhagavan's will, Bhagavan has told now he already saw that Bhagwan has ensured that these guards are asleep and then the chains are gone. So yeah, Bhagwan will do. He has told to take him across now. He didn't tell me that wait. So I will go. Fearlessly he goes into the water. And you should listen to Gurudev's talk on Krishna Avatar. That I don't know what is there now, but CD was there. Well, first it was a cassette, then it became a CD. Talk on Krishna Avatar. He begins the talk by saying to talk on Krishna's life in 1.5 hours, even Krishna himself cannot do it. And he starts the talk after that saying that his entire life is a tragedy. As a Balvihar child, I heard that. I said, what is Gurudev saying? Because our notion is what? Krishna life, what a life, ऐसी life होनी चाहिए. But full on his life, complete sorrow from birth onwards. So in that this prasang he narrates. He says Vasudev ji entered and Yamuna is in spate and he is entering. So initially water is up to here, then it comes here. And as he goes deeper and deeper, water has come up to the neck. Still he doesn't think that, oh, this is impractical, I should turn back. He is not telling Bhagwan, do something, what is happening? Nothing, he is going quietly. And Yamuna is in floods. And that Yamuna also is more excited because Bhagwan has come. And Bhagwan is passing through Yamuna. In the basket, she wants to touch the feet of Bhagwan. So she is rising more and more. And now water has come from here to here to here, covered the lips also, has come up to the nose. Still, Vasudevji is not thinking that this is very impractical. Bhagwan is not doing anything. At that time, what Bhagwan does, puts his foot out. There is one Sheshnag behind. You may wonder, Bhagwan must be getting wet. No, Sheshnag is there already. That is the umbrella, 1,000-hooded umbrella. Bhagwan has royal umbrella. हमारी umbrella इतनी छुटकी सी होती है. His umbrella is Sheshnag, full, is traveling behind him. Then Bhagwan puts his little foot outside. So Gurudev says that the foot of baby Krishna will be exactly that size that it will be coming up to here. The nose of Vasudev, the toe. And Yamuna dare not touch that water. Touch that feet. Why? Because he's a baby and the baby will get pneumonia. And so the feet is there till here and Yamuna is there till here and Vasudev has the space to breathe and he goes across. Full, I am just saying in my language, but you should listen to Gurudev expressing that. What dramatization of the whole thing. And then he says, did Vasudev feel that I am a devotee of Bhagwan and Bhagwan did not bother about me, did not take care of me and I went through the floods. He did not have any such thoughts. Why? Because he is carrying Bhagwan on his head. You have Bhagwan in your head, you surrender to Bhagwan. He will see you through all the floods of life. You don't have to worry for a moment. It is his job to take you across. Because he brought you here. He did not, if you doubt him, then you will go back. You surrender completely. Bas. Go across. He will take across. That bhav we should have. That's what this is. Begi haro Hanuman Mahaprabhu jo kachu sankat hoya hamaro. Once you tell the sankat to Bhagwan, that we are telling also is the expression of our surrender. Otherwise, do we have to even tell our sankat to Bhagwan? Does Bhagwan not know? One line very nicely we read. Don't tell God how big your problem is. Tell the problem how big God is. Such a nice line that is. But half the time what do? We go and tell God only, अरे भगवान मोर को ये प्रॉब्लम है, वो प्रॉब्लम है, इतना बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, तो ऐसा प्रॉब्लम तो किसी को नहीं आता है. And everybody feels what? Their problem is the biggest problem. Their problem is the most unique problem. So natural it is, if it comes, what do we say? Surrender to Bhagwan, saying, I give it to you, now you help me out of this. I am not going to bother or be desperate about it. Whatever you will, may it happen. That Shraddha when we have, we will know that whatever is happening is good for us. Bhagwan will remove us out of this sorrow, however troublesome it may be. We have to deal with it. Go through it, like how Vasudevji went into the flooding Yamuna. But he went across. Same way, some karmas Bhagwan will exhaust out, finish it. So, Begi haro Hanuman Mahaprabhu, jo kachu sankat hoye hamaro. को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तुम्हारा. So that Shraddha let us have. Hanumanji is with us. Hanumanji's kripa, this text also is over. Yesterday we were thinking कैसे होगा, क्या होगा, ये तो छोटा संकट है. संकट भी नहीं है actually. आराम से हो गया, effortlessly खत्म. We did not compromise, rush through. Nothing. पूरा अच्छे से डेप्थ में लेके हमने किया है. हनुमान जी कृपा. But is that a part of this? It's not a. I don't know. Is it a part of this? Okay, let us do. Chalo. लाल देह लाली लसे अरुधरि लाल लंगूर वज्र देह दानव दलन जय 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 कपिसूर सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय. So लाल देह लाली लसे. You know that Hanumanji applies full sindoor. Why does he apply sindoor? Because he saw Sita ji applying sindoor and he asked, "Oh mother, what are you doing?" She said, "I am doing this for the long life of Bhagwan Ram and Bhagwan loves sindoor." That's all. He had to hear that ki Bhagwan loves sindoor and this is for Bhagwan. Immediate. See, that's the bhakti, no? That if Bhagwan loves something, I will just do it. You know, the best form of bhakti is only that, where we do things for Bhagwan. What we did discuss in the morning, na? For the beloved we do. In love, beloved is important. He doesn't bother ki main kaisa lagunga. First of all, he is a monkey. In that he is applying sindoor. And then he goes and dances in front of Bhagwan to please Bhagwan. And Bhagwan is laughing, kya hai ye? Why did you put all this and you came in front of me and why are you dancing like this? But that brought joy, no, to Bhagwan. He was so happy. So, Lal Deh Lali Lase, Arudhari Lal Langur, Vajra Deha Danava Dalana. He has Vajra Deha and Danava Dalan. One mace of his is enough. Finished. Danava Dalana, Jaya Jaya Jaya, Kapisur. He is the best amongst the Kapi. Kapi means realized being. The best amongst the realized beings, the greatest Bhakta of Bhagwan Ram. To what extent is his bhakti? Think about that. Bhagwan went from here to his Saket Dham. When he went, he took everybody with him. You know, if you go to Ayodhya, Guptar Ghat, if you go, no, they will say Guptar Ghat is the place from where Bhagwan disappeared. So he entered into Saryu Nadi with Lakshmanji and Ayodhya Vasis and he went to Saket Dham. But he told Hanumanji, you stay here. And Hanumanji also said, okay, I will stay. And he said, I will spread the Ram Naam here. So Bhagwan went, but Hanumanji is still here. Chiranjeevi, spreading the Naam of Bhagwan to everybody. And wherever there is Ram Katha, Hanumanji goes there. Yatra yatra raghunartha kirtanam, tatra tatra krita mastakanjalim. Hanumanji definitely is there. And he goes and sits and listens to Ram Katha. Hanumanji is everywhere. Here right now we are doing Sankat Mochan, but through that we are doing Ramji's glory also. But literally in Ram Katha also, when the Ramayana is being spoken, Hanumanji will be there. We need our eyes to see. We may think only Hanumanji is in the physical form, but Hanumanji is there in all the bhavana of bhakti. Physical form also, because that is what he says, that I sit there and I listen. If we have the right bhava of bhakti, we will be able to see also. So one can say that is again symbolism there. So Guru in the form of the Guru, also Hanumanji is there. So this is the glory of Hanumanji. May he remove all our sorrows, troubles, mala, vikshepa and avarana, and make us also kapi. Make us also realize the truth in our own heart. We will chant the first shloka again here, because the idea here is we will continue to study this text. बाल समय रवि भक्षी लियो तब तीनहु लोक भयो अंधियारो ताहि सो त्रास भयो जग को यह संकट काहू सो जात नटारो देवन अनिकरी बिनती तब छाड़ी दियो रवि कष्ट निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो. Let us do all 7 once. We have not chanted ना, पूरा एक बार करके फिर वापस we will do. बाली की त्रास कपीस बस गिर जात महाप्रभु पंथ निहारो चौकी महामुनि साप दियो तब चाहिए कौन विचार विचारो कै द्विज रूप लिवाय महाप्रभु सो तुम दास के शोक निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो अंगद के संग लेन गए सिया खोज कपि सय बैन उचारो जीवत ना बची हौ हम सोजु बिना सुधि लाए इहाँ पगुधारो हेरी थके तट सिंधु सब तब लाए सिया सुधि प्राण उबारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो रावण त्रास दई सिया को सब राक्षसी सो कही शोक निवारो ताहि समय हनुमान महाप्रभु जाय महारजनी चर मारो चाहत सिया अशोक सो आगि सुदय प्रभु मुद्रिका शोक निवारो है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो बान लग्यो उर लक्ष्मण के तब प्राण तजे सुत रावण मारो लय गृह वैद्य सुषेण समेत तब गिरि द्रोण सुबीर उपारो आनि सजीवन हाथ दई तब लक्ष्मण के तुम प्राण उबारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो रावण युद्ध अजान कियो तब नाग की फांस सब सिर डारो श्री रघुनाथ समेत सब दल मोह भयो यह संकट भारो आनि खगेश तब हनुमान जो बंधन काटे सूत्रास निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो बंधु समेत जब अहि रावण लय रघुनाथ पताल सिधारो भली विधि सो बलि देव बलि मंत्र उचारो जाय सहाय भयो तब ही अहि रावण सैन्य समेत संहारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो काज किए बड़ देवन के तुम वीर महाप्रभु देखी विचारो। कौन सो संकट मोर गरीब को जो तुम सो नहीं जात है टारो। बेगी हरो हनुमान महाप्रभु जो कछु संकट होय हमारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। लाल देह लाली लसे अरुधरि लाल लंगूर। वज्र देह दानव दलन जय 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 कपिसूर। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। बोलो सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की। बोलो सनातन हिंदू धर्म की। बोलो भारत माता की। We offer this at the feet of Bhagwan and Puja Gurudev. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। ओम तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु। ओम तत्सत् चिन्मयार्पणमस्तु। ओम सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः। सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः। सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम।